All right, we back at it. Chuck Dizzle live and direct, man. Keep it at homegrown, of course, man. Got the homie, man, a true homegrown homie, man. Been seeing this dude evolve over, man, I want to say a good decade, man.
Yeah,
It's been some time, bro.
For sure.
Price is here, man. It's good to see you, brother.
Man, thank you. Likewise, bro.
Man,
you know it.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's always good to see you, family.
Now, we were talking about something interesting before we cut the mics on, and the topic of media training came up. And that's something you rarely hear these days, man. What you said you've been through it. What does that actually consist of for the people that don't know?
Media training. So yeah, I definitely took. We got when I first ever got signed to Interscope, I was about 18. And this is back when like the label system was totally different.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? We was the last ones to experience like the labels in the form of like when Bobby Brown and niggas like that was signed. You know what I mean? So they offer shit like media training.
So is it like a class? Like I'm curious because I've heard the term, and even me in radio, like I kind of came up in that same era where I was like the last of like I used to work for the Beat, right?
Facts.
And I was the last of like the last generation of the Beat when it was like 100.3, right?
Right.
And so there was a lot of things that they always talked about that I had missed and just things of that nature, right? So when artists hear media training, is it a class that you go to?
So no, we had a I'll really back, bro. As of now, like I don't know what she was exactly, like what her title was. She fuck around might have been a publicist or something, but we just sat in a room. You know what I mean? We were in a room and she had like sheets of paper with questions and things like that on it. You know what I mean? And it was literally training us on how to do interviews and just talk on the media, not chew your gum. That's where the convo came into like gum. I'm like, man, let me spit this shit out. You know, just because sometimes it'll feedback on the mics, things like that, or you be just smacking and whatever. But I'm grateful for it. You know what I mean? Because I pride myself on being articulate. Either way, like, you know, I've been talking all my life, you feel me? But it's better to, you know, have some etiquette to it and just kind of like be effective with the communication. So I love it. And I think, you know, that's something that should come back.
For sure. And that was going to be my next question. So like you've been through the system and we'll talk about the journey. And
for sure.
You know, obviously you got the solo situation now, but
yes, sir.
My thing is this, like when you've been through that system and then you're going through it now, you see how, you know, the system has evolved over the years. Is that something you asked them to bring back when you're in a major situation?
Well, me now, like when I just did my Motown deal, right? I was on Motown for about a year and a half. But I didn't need media training no more for me, you know what I mean? Because I didn't already did it and have done X amount of interviews, DJ drops.
Right, so we
was one of the last niggas on 106 and Park, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like, so nah, but I think that a lot of these new artists are just new producers, artists, creatives, whatever coming into the game, I would suggest it.
For sure.
You know, because I mean, for some people, brand is for them, they brand is just like,
sit back,
yeah, that's cool. Like, you know, that's their brand.
As an interviewer, that is the worst thing. When you talk to somebody, you form a question and you're like, okay, I'm about to get a fire-ass answer or something. It's like, yeah, that's what's up. It's like,
right,
bro, that's it? That's all you going to give me?
Yeah, I fuck with that.
For sure.
It's like, and it's crazy, right? Because I remember, man, I'll never forget, bro, Waka Flocka when he was popping, right? This is, let's do it. Right when he first got on. He was on 106 and Park, right? I'm young at the crib. We watching the 106 Park episode, but I'll never forget whoever, I think it was like Roxy or whoever was the host at that time, but they asked him about voting. And they was like, you know, Waka, what's your thoughts on voting? He was like, voting good. Like literally not voting is good.
Just vote
not
good.
Voting good, right? And so you got to think about, fast forward to 2023 Waka.
Yeah.
Waka come in this room and give the game.
For sure.
You feel me? So articulate, you know, so just precise with his vernacular and his words. And I fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? To me, I think it's just, you know, if you actually young and don't got nothing to really talk about and shit, one, you might not need to do the interview or do an interview, but two, you know, ideally you'll grow out of that. You feel me? But if you know better, then I would hope that you on here just talking like you know better.
Well, the thing is, man, we always make a point to let people know, as far as like trying to spit game to them, like when you're doing interviews, it's a chance for you to showcase your personality.
Facts.
I might not rock with the music,
right?
But I might rock with, oh man, Price got a crazy car collection, or you know what I'm saying, you're into Pokemon, I don't know, whatever
Facts,
but that thing, it might resonate with me that 100%. You do, and that's all by articulating yourself. 100%. Or man, he's just a funny ass cat, or he's just funny, he real, whatever. All these things, if you're showcasing your personality, it gives me a chance to now introduce myself to the music and be like, well, let me go and press play off of somebody that I probably may not have in the past. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because what I would encourage like creatives to be very clear on is it is like not about the music no more.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the music is like the bottom of the barrel of shit that people are scooping up to care about you and to really be invested spiritually into what you're doing, you know. So
which is wild to think about, but I mean it's the truth. As a creative, how does that make you feel? Like somebody that put that is very intentional about your craft and the words and the music, and we'll talk about Gospel in the Ghetto, the storytelling, all of those things.
Yes, sir.
When you do interviews, the media run, or you know, just on social media, that's the, like you said, it's the background, it's the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, you know, but because I come from the game where like you put that art out, if that art's speaking, it's gonna project. You know what I mean? It could potentially project you to millions and millions of viewers and fans and followers, etc. Nowadays, you know, with so many social media outlets, it's like it's a high demand for you to be just continuously like out there, like showcasing who you are so that people could buy in more. And it's I used to hate it, but I'm a person that, you know, one of my big homies told me one time, like, don't complain about a game that you could beat.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's like you a hooper. It's like you Brian, you know what I mean? Or you Kobe, rest in peace. And it's like, what you complaining about the rules, the new rules that the coach, that the refs or the league might be making, when you great enough to make the adjustments to adjust to the game and then beat it. Yeah. You know, so for me, I'm like, it's unfortunate, but it's like AI. When you think about artificial intelligence coming into the industry, it's like it's whack, you know, and I don't want to see the shit, but at the end of the day, it's coming. It's here already, actually. It's already here. So it's like there's nothing you could do about it. Bitching and complaining ain't gonna change nothing. So it's like adjust with the times, and if you and that's what to me separates the greats from, you know, people who just are good. Yeah. You know what I mean? The being able to adjust with the times.
Yeah. Just not playing victim to what's going on. Because it's always going to be it's always going to be a challenge. It's always going to be an obstacle. Are you going to lay down and just not do anything about it? Or are you going to find a way to overcome?
Man, find a wiggle. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to wiggle.
Yeah.
Period. Like, you know what I mean? So it took a little time, and it does take away at times from the art. I just seen somebody post, artist, I ain't going to say their name, but post just something about like, I'm an artist and the art should speak. I shouldn't have to do content, and I'm not gonna just flood myself on content, blah, 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 blah. Like I put that time into the art, and it's like, that's cool.
You can do that.
But you're going against niggas like me who gonna put it into the art, the content, the interviews, pull up to the kids, go do it all. Whatever, because it's a new game, and that's what it takes now.
You talk about that, man. You do wear multiple hats. Not only are you an artist, we were again talking prior to you coming up here, you know, getting your hand in the production and just kind of being uncomfortable. A businessman, restaurants, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, obviously the merch, we get into that as well.
Facts.
There's so many hats that you wear. Is the business mind something that you've always had growing up?
Yeah, I would say that, man. Like, it's crazy. I was like, I got a son, you know, which you know.
Yeah.
Dad life, exactly. That's what we stand on, you feel me? But so my son is at the age, like, you know, he into what he want to get, and he into his own shit now, you know what I mean? And I remember being 13, and, you know, I was raised by a single mom, you feel me, and I'm the oldest. My mom had me when she was 16, so we grew up together for real, you know what I mean? Me and my mom's like, and I used to want babes and shit. I used to want that hot shit. I've always loved fashion. You know what I mean? Like, shout out to my boy Aaron Karras. I'm like, let me rock bro shit. You feel real quick. But normally I'll be in here on my shit, color D&T down. But I've always been into fashion, like, heavily. So I used to want babes. I used to want all the hot shit, you know, and moms couldn't afford it. So 13 years old, I was holding signs, you feel me? Other than shooting dice at school, selling phones, you know, selling weed at a point. Yeah, I'm doing all types of bullshit. But the first thing that, as soon as I, like, on paper could get a job, I instantly went to holding signs. I used to make, like, $150 a weekend. but I get paid every other week, so my checks would be like $300, but they'll take the little taxes out.
At 16?
13.
At 13?
13, yeah, 13, 14. So I get like $280 or something roughly when my check finally hit, but I'm 14 years old.
No bills, no, I mean, probably helping
no
mom
nothing,
pitch in a little bit.
Shoot her ass $50 max to get out my face, and I'm finna go bleed this shit, you know? So, but I've always just had that hustle, you know what I mean? I used to, my granny, man, rest in peace, my granny would literally give me like $20, $30 to go flip shooting dice for her all the time, like constantly. She knew if she shoot me the bread,
she like,
I'm finna bring you.
I know baby gonna come back with something.
I'm coming back. You gonna have a 60 ball. I done made 160 or something out the dice game, you feel me? I'm gonna bring you 60 on top of your little 30 or something, you feel me? So yeah, I've always just had that. And then when I started just getting a little older and touching a little bit more money, I always knew I wanted to invest, you know, and get into just entrepreneurship. I just didn't know what that looked like.
Yeah.
And then one day, moms called me with the opportunity to get into the restaurant. It was I'm from the IE.
Yeah.
For the people who don't know, and there was this restaurant that's legendary called Bobby Ray's. It's been there for 30 plus years. But he had passed it down to his sons, and his sons didn't really too much give a damn about it. So they let it go to shambles damn near, and it was about to just be gone. And my mom's like, yo, we got an opportunity to get Bobby Ray's. We just need, you know, X amount of dollars and shit. So I, you know, at the time too, I emptied my bank account for the shit. And moms and my step-pops, it was really for them. And then they ended up getting a divorce, literally.
You gotta be shitting me.
Bro, my step-pop's been in my life since I was 7. My mom probably been married to him.
Me,
Mom's probably been married to him for like hella years at this point. Y'all wait till we get the restaurant together, till about 6, 7, no more than 9 months out of that experience to get a divorce and stand on it. They used to break up all the time, but stood on it. So now my mom's just like, I don't want this shit. I don't want nothing to do with it. That's yours. We don't need no percentages. That's all you. I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this
y'all?
shit?
Yeah.
Feel me? So luckily, boom, I like I said, I wiggled. I'm like, you know what? I'm here now, and I'm damn sure not giving this up.
Yeah.
So made it happen and shit. And that just segued into learning and falling in love with business.
For sure.
You know, so then that segued to the food truck. That segued into the, you know, the cannabis world. That segued into my nonprofit now.
Yeah.
The label, you feel me? Because when you got your own label, independent or not, you running a business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, and I love all the aspects of it. And I'm just like, and I want to just continue to take business to new heights that like our community and even the world just haven't seen.
Speaking of the label, man, CLRD, man, what does that represent for the folks that aren't familiar? I know you had a project name that, and I'm sure you dived into all of that with the project, but for the folks that, you know, expanded on what color means for yourself and for, you know, everything.
Well, one, you know, it initially started out kind of like, not self-explanatory, but I just wanted to take a negative, like a term and a word that was kind of deemed like negative and just put some light to it, because I think being colored is dope. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because one, I'm not black. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like this microphone shit thing is black. You know what I mean? I really don't know too many black people that look like this versus, but I know a couple, but I don't know.
On the Lakers, I forgot his name.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. Right. So it's very rare, but at the same time too, it really was for me to like showcase unity. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're looking like a crayon box, it's multiple colors. It ain't just one color. It ain't just black and white. You know what I'm saying? It's multiple colors. And then when you look, if you go to the airport, you see multiple colors. You know what I mean? And we got new merch coming out that's like, we're all colored, all those different things. You know what I mean? And to create a space where like my people could just take pride in who and what they are, you know, and things that like, it's like we use the word like nigga, you know what I mean? And we bleed nigga.
I just said it a couple times.
Which is fine, you know, because I say it all the time. But it's like we've made that a thing and a positive thing to like where you can't say that. We ready to live and die behind them shit, right? And it's like, if we gonna take that and attempt to turn that into a positive, like it's way better terms that like our people really were, you know, colored only water fountains and bathrooms and buses and schools and the whole 9 yards. And so to me, I'm just like, yo, I want to own that.
If you're gonna take this world, why not take this world?
Yeah.
Let's take it all over.
Exactly. And just put some more light and love to it. You know what I mean? And that's really what it stemmed from, and just the intention behind it. You know, taking a word. I read this book called The 22 Immutable Laws of Branding.
I heard Nipsey talking about that.
Yeah. It's life changing. My homie Rance put me on the 1500 Rance. But it teaches you to like take a word, if you can, take a word that hasn't been embedded in people's psyche, and if it has, try to take the word and embed it in different ways.
Gotcha.
Right? And so it just came to me.
You strike me as a type, and obviously I know you, but just within our conversation now, you're confirming that you love challenges and you love overcoming. You love, telling for people that say you can do one thing or not do one thing. You, I'm gonna be the one that's gonna show you.
Crazy about it.
How is that developed? Because I'm a psychology major, right?
Fire.
So like, I'm always interested in when that moment sparked for you, and like when was your first memory of like overcoming? Is like, okay, I can, or somebody telling me I can't do this, and I'm gonna try, and I did.
Man, bro, my overcoming journey, it's been all my life, and that's no exaggeration.
Really? Literally. Is that something that comes from family, or is that something that's just always been you?
I would say definitely something I believe is a me thing, but I do have like my grandpa Harry, he which is my dad's dad, rest in peace. He preached on tax businesses, owned a restaurant, owned a church. Like my grandpa Harry was hella just into entrepreneurship and black ownership. He just was, a black man in those times, you know, and so he only knew so much about money management and things like that. But really all my family, man, actually when I really think about it, that's why, I got a book, which we'll hit on, but I have a book series called Generational Cures that, and I'm pissed I couldn't bring you none. My boxes is in storage, and I just gave out so many of them at Juneteenth. But
that's good. I mean, it's going to good use.
Definitely.
I'll get mine on the back.
Definitely, for sure. But I created that book series stemming off of the word generational curses, or the words, because that's what we hear so much in our community, like generational curses. I'm like, yo, I'm a generational cure, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the cure. We are generational cures, right? And I wanted to write the book series because all of my family, like so many of my family, were a part of like Jim Jones. Like my auntie died in the Jim Jones massacre. My auntie Darlene with her baby. Yeah, one of my baby cousins and my auntie Darlene. I have older cousins and uncles and aunties and shit that don't got nothing bad to say about Jim Jones, because they don't know the man that went to Jonestown and like wigged out. You know what I'm saying? They used to be in the church in the Bay, getting taken care of. And Jim Jones was like God to them. You know what I'm saying? Before the super egotistical spiritual craziness he went through. Yeah. So my family overcame that. You know what I'm saying? And just within myself, from being abused when I was a child, and wasn't even rap. We used to be rapping. I was 8 years old doing songs. Like, we didn't have no equipment. You feel me? So I grabbed the boombox, and back then they had the boombox with the mic like connected to the boombox where you could just talk into it and press record, and you could record. You only had tapes. So we used to be stealing my granny tapes and shit, recording over her tapes. We'll take the boombox, bring it up close to the TV, and then back then 2K. And the video games had beats on them.
Making beats,
you know what I'm saying? They had all type of whack ass beats, but we was rapping on them. You know what I mean? To make songs. You feel me? Yeah. So ever since then, man, I mean, I'm big on like, what? We can't go that way?
We doing it.
First of all, why can't we go this way? Oh yeah, we going that way.
I got a funny story about Price. Now, I don't know if I'm sure I know you know this, but I just one thing that always stood out about you to me is we saw each other at NAMM in 2020 or 2019.
Yeah.
And I think as I'm walking out, or as I'm walking in, I can't remember what it was, but I saw you going heads up with these Trump supporters.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they were specifically Trump supporters, but they were definitely like anti what the fuck we had going on.
Facts.
And they were like chastising everybody walking in, just, you know, I use this term loosely, but the Bible thumpers, the ones that are like over the top with the messaging, and like it was bad. It was right? Crazy. But you went heads up with this crew. I mean, you by yourself.
Yep.
Against a guy with a bullhorn and the whole crowd. And I was like, damn, that's fire. Like, I rock with bro because you stood on what you believed in.
Facts.
I don't even know what the argument was about, but you stood on what you believed in and wasn't backing down. It wasn't like, I'm going to fight you. It wasn't like, I'm going to beat your ass. It was just, you were literally having a debate argument with this gentleman. And I was just like, damn, like that just spoke so much to who you are and your character.
100%.
So when I hear the music, I hear these stories, I automatically, I know this isn't a facade. This isn't a character. This 100%. Is really Price.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, man, that was a crazy moment, man. That was a part of why my Instagram, like my Instagram hasn't been the same since, which is so fucked up.
Got shadow banned.
I got shadow banned and took my Instagram at a point.
See, what's funny is I don't even remember you posting it. I saw it in real time.
Yeah, facts. So I was on live at a point. Because I was out there for a minute. And to your point, what you're saying, it was not out there to be like, we could squabble, I'll whoop your ass, but I was 100% ready for if that's whatever, if they wanted to go there. You know what I mean? I would have happily went there with them. You know what I'm saying? But really, so one, to be clear, they were actually like KKK members too. Okay. You feel me? So it's so funny because as much as I don't have so much... I don't have like the most negative things to say about Trump. I have plenty of them, but I'm not just so like, oh, fuck Trump, right?
And that's why, and I'm sorry, I don't want to say, I don't want to make it seem like it was an anti-Trump situation, but I do remember.
No, they had Trump signs.
Had the Trump signs.
Because listen, what people have to understand about Trump and his reign is that he brought all of those hidden KKK members, hidden anti, blacks, just all the real true undercover racists, he brought them out. He made he allowed them to poke their chests out and you feel me, pop out, you know, and they would disguise it as Trump support.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Because Trump stood for so many things that they did stand for. And in all actuality though, they were really KKK members. You know what I'm saying? But they wasn't dressed in hoods and shit like that. But they made it clear, you know, in our engagement and our dialogue. And so for me as a colored man and somebody who I could go one, or it's the double-sided coin. So I could get on the bullshit with you very fast if that's what we got to do, but I also could just outsmart you. You know what I mean? And to me, like, so many of them are so stupid and just not articulate, don't be knowing half the shit they talking about. At that time, I was so heavy into the politics, everything from the vaccine, all those types. I was so engulfed in that shit that I could have went to war verbally and intellectually with anybody at that time. So I was chewing their asses up out there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I got my people out there too, because some people started to, engage with me. And I felt good, man, because to me it's like, damn, we're not in those times of like Malcolm and Marcus Garvey and John Henry Clark and Martin, and we're not in those times no more. It's so much undercover, hidden racism and oppression that we rarely get to even go head on with the shit. Because everybody hiding. They all spooked. They all like where y'all at? We know y'all there. They can't never even address y'all. You feel me? And so finally I get the opportunity.
He was like, oh, we got one? Cool.
We got them. Let's do it. What y'all out here for? And y'all got the Bible? Y'all got scriptures out here? What are y'all out here talking about? And so it was a moment. But I went live and Instagram, man.
They wasn't rocking with you after that.
Man, that was crazy. And my shit ain't been the same. My Instagram hasn't been the same since, man. But, damn, that's crazy. I didn't even realize. I do remember you kind of like shifting by at a point. It was like, you good? You know what I mean?
I wasn't sure what was happening. And the thing is, like, I guess at the point where I saw, it didn't look like
it was cracking.
It wasn't cracking. Like, so I was like, okay, he on his shit. He's standing on that. I love that. Cool. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like, oh man, bro needs some, physical assistance or anything like that.
Right.
I was like, okay, cool. He got that. But again, that was just one of those moments where it stood out and it just showed it displays so much about your character.
Yes, sir.
And again, overcoming, just being about like standing up against whatever to get your point across, and
it not escalating to
exactly
the fuck shit,
the bullshit.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like to me, like you said, in that moment, that was an overcoming moment because they wanted me to act like a nigga.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
nope.
No, we're not doing that. It's gonna take y'all swinging on me. Mm-hmm. Cause then at that point I'm 1,000,000% warranted. I'm going Super Saiyan 5 and I'm finna crush something out here. But I would much rather overcome the ignorance and prove that y'all are the ones that are wrong. Y'all are the ones ignorant. Y'all are the ones actually below me, below us.
Right.
You know, and so that was a great moment, man. And even with the riots, man, the LA riots to when they hung the young brother in Palmdale in front of the City Hall building. I was head on, and that's all a part of why my damn Instagram got took out. Because I was going live for all those moments for a few different reasons. Because my life's on the line every one of these moments. I don't know if one of these niggas is going to wig out or if the cops going to fucking kill one of us out here. Like we had points of time, like in Palmdale, we had guns literally at our face, like chops at our face. You feel me? I got bulletproof vests on and shit, so I look like the fucking ringleader raging, you know.
Right.
But yeah, man, it was a part of just who I am.
Yeah.
You know, I'm big on just standing for who and what I believe in and living and dying by it.
And I mean, something that you mentioned earlier, as far as like as somebody that's been through abuse, it's like that some of those traumatic things kind of come out, and it's like, no, you're standing up for yourself as well. You know what I mean? I do want to get into the music, man. I know we talked about that being the background, but I definitely want to shed some light on it, man. Gospel in the Ghetto.
Yes, sir.
Amazing project. I think it's your best to date.
For sure.
I personally think so. For you, let's talk about the cover art.
Yeah.
What that represents. We see you on the porch. We see, you know, a gentleman is that grandfather?
That's my uncle. That's Uncle Jimmy.
Is that what's supposed to be represented as your grandfather, or is that just your whole family?
Yeah, so on the cover art is the male that's holding the gun and holding his wife. That's my Uncle Jimmy. Holding my Auntie Betty Ann, and she's reading the Bible. And then my son is on the cover, and one of the children sitting down, and my 3 little cousins, and me. Because that embodies gospel in the ghetto to me in my experience. You know, so first off, my Uncle Jimmy and my Auntie Betty Ann, they helped like raise me to a small degree. Obviously, my mom raised me, my granny, but we lived at my Uncle Jimmy's many a different times. You know, he was the male figure in our lives when none of us had no daddies. And it's crazy because he wasn't even there for his children at the time like he wanted to be and could have and should have been. But we were in closer proximity, so he was our protector. He was like the only dad we knew, you know, and he grew up in the Jim Jones era too. He don't got nothing bad to say about Jim Jones.
Wow.
But my Uncle Jimmy was our protector. I didn't watch that man do a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? We like my family got real, there's some some motherfuckers in there, you know, and so my aunt that just embodied what because like for instance my grandpa, like I speak about on the album, he was one of the wisest and most spiritual people I've ever met. But when he would be studying the word, he'll have multiple Bibles, a concordance, dictionaries, all this shit, but 2-3 beers, cigarettes, ashtray, like 20 cigarettes burnt out right there. It's crazy. Like his whole little world used to be nuts to me. You know, I'll come in like, what the hell going on? Right?
It was happening.
You feel me? But that's so many of our stories in the ghetto.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most times, even if your family wasn't drinking beer and alcohol and doing drugs while they studying the Bible, they're going to church Sunday, Wednesday, or multiple days throughout the week and coming home and on average being hypocrites. Like on average doing shit that they own vices,
own personalities,
come on
all
now.
Things, yeah.
But that is what was pushed on us heavily, you know, and I'm not I don't like consider or deem myself a Christian anymore. I grew up a Christian. You know, my mom preached. Most of my family still are Christians, and I got nothing but love for Christians.
Yeah.
But I've also just learned, it's like we put so much emphasis on how there's a liquor store on every corner in the ghetto. But where there's not a liquor store on the corner, there's a church. It's 20 churches in every hood, damn near. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Facts. Like, why is it a church around the corner where we all going here? Right, you know what I mean? But it's like, and because they're like, when you really start diving into it and really understanding the history of it and the government's intentions behind it, it'll kind of open your eyes if you want them open. Nonetheless, inside those churches, when it's done right and the spirituality is at a high level and the intentions are pure, there are lives being changed and saved. There are intentions being guided accordingly through love. And so it's a beautiful thing. However, it also is, to me, crippling our people as well, just from a financial standpoint. You know what I mean?
Christianity or just religion in itself?
I don't even want to just deem it so much as Christianity. I will say religion, but I'm more so speaking of just mass amount of churches in the ghettos.
Got you. Okay.
Right? I'm not mad at it being a church in the ghetto. Right. But like if we in Leimert Park or if we in Watts, there should be 2 churches max.
Right. It shouldn't be 50.
50 churches in Compton is crazy to me.
Yeah.
20 churches in San Bernardino is nuts. Yeah. 30 like what the fuck is going on?
Damn, you know what was funny is I never even thought about that.
And what you gotta understand is that like I grew up watching my grandmother, watching my elders, my mom, go put their last into the church. Not into therapy, not into education, not into our school clothes at times. You know what I mean?
Prayer's gonna heal it.
Because God got it.
God got it.
And it's like, and God do got it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But God got it regardless. Right. You feel me? And so it is a business. And what I feel like us as a people in the ghetto, which is why, you know, I made the album, you know, it songs like called Trust No Bitches, Trust No Nigga. It's like, you know, gentrified.
I love the duality. Like you got one side and the other side.
100%. You know, but it's really because it's like gospel in the ghetto is that. Like the gospel in America wouldn't be the gospel without the ghetto. And the ghetto wouldn't be the ghetto without the gospel.
Facts.
You know, and what I just want to just shed light on and enlighten my people on is that it is a business. You know what I'm saying? It's a nonprofit business that the government allows to be a thing. You know what I'm saying? Because not only do they benefit, but then, you know, said pastor or preacher, which I'm not mad at. Another thing too, just so we clear, I'm not mad at a pastor getting some money.
Get your bread. Yeah.
I'm not mad at a pastor being rich. I'm not one of them people either, just so we clear.
I'm gonna say, there are people upset,
motherfuckers
man,
that
the preacher shouldn't drive the BMW.
I don't believe that.
So you said that the preacher should drive the BMW?
I just don't think it should be 50 churches. It shouldn't be 50 preachers.
Got you.
You feel me? Like, because to me, at the end of the day, Jay-Z rich. Jay-Z spent his time writing songs and then come and perform that song, those records and gives you that experience that makes you feel so liberated when you leaving out the Staples Center or wherever you at. And so do great pastors. You know what I mean? I know great pastors like Apostle E. Morrison, who like helped change my life, who puts his real time, effort, and energy into those studies to be able to deliver that message in a way where you do feel liberated and you feel whole and all those things, and that should be compensated. That shit ain't easy.
I'm gonna push back a little bit because I grew up in a small church, and I haven't been in years. I'm not gonna sit here in front like I'm holier than now, but for me the smaller church experience was way better because it's like a school, right?
Yeah,
I don't want to be in a school that has
70 kids in the classroom.
Exactly. Yeah. I want that not one-on-one experience, but just that more community vibe.
Yeah.
Where our church was literally like 70 people max on a good day. Right. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them were elders. So for me, I love the experience versus, you know, when we did go to the bigger churches,
mass churches,
it was just like, man, this is too much. Yeah. All right, the service gonna be 3 hours, you know what I'm saying? Because there's so much going on. The offering gonna be 45 minutes. It's like, I hear your point, but I like the fact that, you know, if that means there needs to be multiple churches and I can find the one that serves me, I don't mind going to that smaller one.
Which I'm not mad at that. Like from that perspective, I'm not mad at it. I've been to small ass churches I grew up in, like Greater Bethel, and then mass churches like The Rock, which was huge, white church. Gospel music sound like fucking alternative rock. You know what I'm saying? But I done been in small churches and the pastor pull off in the Benz, and mass churches and the pastor pull off in the Benz. You know what I'm saying? The pastor gonna get him some money. Now, whether or not they managing it right or
that's
doing whatever they little vices may be or not be, that's between them and God and the trajectory of how their success is playing out. But I'm not opposed to that take. I'm just like, I think my gripe is more just the fact that it is it is a business, and it's so easy for pastors to not even be about what they're teaching, talking about, and preaching, to just start a business. Like the same way I started a nonprofit. If you got a building,
right,
and you create a church, create the nonprofit, you're going to get approved. You now have a church. Yeah, you now can preach. Yeah. You now have a congregation. You now can affect lives, and then people's psyche. Now you're potentially crippling households by constantly being in a pocket, versus like a once a month tithe. Niggas is want you to tithe. Like if they got Bible study, if you gotta go to church 3 times a week, they want tithes every time you come to church.
So it's more about those that abuse that power.
That's what everything.
Got you.
And so for me, I'm just one of the people that's not scared to say the church is doing it wrong too.
Right.
I don't like nobody abusing their power.
I give you that. I give you that. For those that's doing it wrong, call them out.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? I had a situation where and mom's probably hot at me now because I don't go to her church anymore because of the situation I had with somebody. I mean, you always have bad apples in the church. And I shouldn't allow this bad apple to
spoil your experience.
Spoil my experience,
right.
But it spoiled the fuck out of me. I'm like, I'm cool, I ain't coming back. But they were kind of like tripping on me the way I dressed. And I'm like,
same.
Brother, like, I'm here to get the word.
Period.
God say come as you are. What? Yeah, but brother, you need to be presentable and da-da-da. I'm like, all right, this is going to be the last time you see me. I'm
Facts.
cool. You know what I'm saying? Like,
same here.
I'm good on that.
Same here. There's a church in the IE I'll never step foot in a day in my life again. They've changed the rules and all. I'm still never going back ever again. Because the one time I went, they trying to critique how I'm dressing. Want me to, I don't mind taking my hat off when it's time to pray or anything like that, but I got a hat on. I'm wearing a hat. And if a homeless man walked in here,
right, and
this is all he had, and all, you can't tell him to take his hat off. To me,
that's the wild part. It's like, well, so what are you? If you're telling this to me, what are you gonna tell somebody that doesn't have the opportunity to change?
Exactly.
It's like you gonna turn them away.
Period. What are the intent? I'm so big on intention. Facts. It ain't funny.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, if it was my church, man, I don't give a damn. Like Apostle, like the church that I do. If I was to go to any church to feel liberated and to get any of that, I'm going straight to Apostle's church, right in Moreno Valley or Riverside or wherever he at. And shout out to my bro Eric Choice, who played on so much of my music, keys, singing, all that. That's his dad's church, actually. Oh, wow. I met him in the church.
That's amazing.
This is my brother, and he's incredible. But I didn't see niggas in that church with rags hanging out their pocket. Cause he don't give a damn about that. He's here to hit this. Yeah. You mess around next time you come next Sunday, you ain't gonna have a rag in your pocket.
Yeah.
Cause he gonna hit home.
Right.
He gonna make you feel welcome, and that's to me what it's about. And it's like, I know that book well enough to know that like y'all are actually sending the wrong message and actually scaring people away from what it is that y'all are trying to pull them into.
Can you dispel this myth or not? Are preacher kids worse than anybody else? Being a preacher kid yourself?
Nah. Well, my mom preached at different points, but I can't call myself a PK.
Why not?
I'm not, because my mom only preached, like, she never had a church.
Got you. Your grandfather.
And my grandpa, which is her dad, my grandpa Lionel, who would study the word like he did. He wasn't a preacher though.
Oh, okay. I thought he
just was in love with the word. He was just in love with the Bible. Like my grandpa killed his brother on it was an accident, but he killed his brother. They had guns put out on each other and they start tussling over the guns. He killed his brother.
That's a trip.
My grandpa was wild. He definitely wasn't a preacher. My dad's dad preached, but I didn't get to reap the benefits of none of that or get that experience. I went to his church once when I was a little kid. My mom got to preach at a church we used to go to. It was actually our family church. My mom got to preach there one time. And the next Sunday, all the doors was locked on us because it was a traditional Baptist church and they don't believe in women speaking in the pulpit.
You gotta be kidding me.
No, and then mind you, my auntie, my uncle, my mom's mom's sister. So my mom's first aunties and uncles were inside the church, a part of the deacon board that locked their ass out. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, I'm 11 years old or something. We get to church. That's the first thing that ever pushed me away from church when I was a kid. Because mind you, we were going to church 3-4 times a week. We ushers. We in the choir, me and all my cousins, we dry humping girls at church. You know, we doing everything under the sun at the church, literally. But that is what threw me off because my mom killed it, by the way. I'm talking about killed it. She had so many people get their lives to the Lord that Sunday. It was all beautiful. That next Sunday, they locked her and the pastor who let her preach out, along with all the congregation that like co-signed her preaching.
That is what... How, okay.
So we had church in the parking lot that Sunday, and I'll never forget that.
How do you let certain people in and lock certain people out?
So they only let in. So they had called a meeting with the deacon board, the usher board, because like the church, it was called Greater Bethel. It was really literally almost like my family's church. It's so crazy. But their deacon board and all of that, they're the ones who really owns and runs the church, not the pastor. They used to have pastors coming in and out like damn. Like babysitters. You feel me? So Pastor Foley, which was his name at the time, he didn't believe in the old traditional Baptist.
He wasn't trying to have it. Yeah.
So he let my mom preach.
Oh no. Okay, got you. So
he
was the one that welcomed her in and said, "Do your thing."
Do your thing. It was I'm talking about old deacons. These niggas look like they finna die any day now. Them niggas locked. I'm talking about it was chains on the door. So it was crazy. Man, so they called a meeting for all of them to be there earlier. And so when church, let's say church started at 9, they called the meeting for all them to be there like 7, 8 to lock the doors. Yeah, crazy.
And just left y'all asses outside to preach.
We was in the parking lot, and I'm sitting here looking like, so women can't preach?
That don't make sense. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, and I was off it for a while after that. You know what I'm saying?
As you should, man. That's terrible, man. That's terrible. One thing you said you pride yourself in is growth.
Facts.
Right? And I love that about yourself and just, you know, over the years, like growing between albums and from your first solo project to now, where do you feel like the most growth came in? Is it, you know, telling these stories, making sure that people are, you know, hearing the vulnerable side of you? Is it musically? Is it all of the above? Like from your standpoint, where do you feel like you've grown the most?
Yeah, I would say for sure, it's all of the above as far as the growth, because not only do I feel like I'm only getting colder as far as my pen, you know what I'm saying? I'm coming for Hove and everybody up there.
Glad you should.
You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm one of the ones as far as like lyrically and one of the wordsmiths, but then there's a thin line between rapping a nigga ear off. Yeah. You know what I mean? So really being able to convey the stories as well as make it the listening experience dope and enjoyable.
Rappity rap.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I think that the growth is definitely there. Just my production value is growing. The variety of different music and genres that I'm like in love with and wanting to incorporate into the music has grown. Just everything, my story, you know, who I want to speak to, I'm more intentional about. You know what I'm saying? I grew up, as much as I grew up in the church, my pops, my uncles, all my family's Crips, hardcore Crippin'. I thought I was a Crip since I was 5 years old. I said that shit on the Breakfast Club and niggas was in the comments like, nigga, that's cap. I've been thinking I was a Crip since I was 5.
Right.
Literally, me and my cousin put each other on in the grass. I'll never forget it. Rest in peace, my cousin City. Like, we been thinking we was Crips since we was kids, and I'm still Crippin'. I'm going forever be Crippin'. You feel me?
You said y'all put each other on in the grass.
Yeah, facts. We socked each other up, man, and we from Trust No Bitch. So T&B on my album, it's really inspired my cousins when I was young, had a clique called T&B that stood for Trust No Bitch, which inspired me to want to put that title on the album.
Yeah, that's fire.
But to give it a different, obviously, message. But my cousin Trajan, Leo, P Money, them niggas used to. My cousin Trajan was 13. 12, 13 max at the time. I'm talking about used to be pulling up in cars, pulling up in Jeeps and shit, loud ass beats, boom, 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 boom. We hear this nigga coming down the street like, boom. It's Trajan. He 13 years old, fat, money in his pocket, some dope probably, fat ass gun, blue rag hanging. Big cousin Leo, all them. So this is what we seen. I'm like, this is winning.
This is it right here.
This is what it's about. Then I always knew my dad was a Crip. You know, my dad been in jail like all my life pretty much. And so I would hear all the stories when I'm pulling up to this family function or the hood function. I don't even realize it's the hood function. I'm thinking it's a family function, family picnic.
Family reunion.
It's they hood functions. You feel me? All my uncles and shit got CG shirts on, all blue and yeah, that's Lil LJ, all that shit. So I've been knowing that, you know what I'm saying? And we probably got 2 bloods in my whole family. Literally, the whole family tree is probably about 2 bloods, you know what I'm saying?
You got a branch, you got the roots, you got 2 leaves.
literally 2 leaves that's red on the tree. But so, you know, that's been my experience my whole life. And I don't even remember.
No,
how
you were
I
saying that you're very
Crippin'.
intentional about, you know, with who you're speaking to.
Yeah, okay.
That's who you're speaking to.
My apologies. So, yeah.
You're good. I'm following you.
Facts. So, I easily could and used to be like just talking to the homies or trying to make music for the ratchets and the homies. You feel me? But it's like now I'm just so much more intentional about making music for people from the ghetto, because it ain't just blacks, it ain't just Crips, it ain't just men, it ain't just being in the ghetto. You ain't gotta be from no hood or in the streets to be from the ghetto.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And most times, you know, if you didn't grow up in it, you didn't been over to your cousins, your aunties, didn't live in there, you gotta go to granny house, you gotta go experience the ghetto. You know what I'm saying?
Even Pac said it. Everything got a little bit of thug in them. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
It's the same, the ghetto shit. It's like we all got it in us. So when you have their attention, what's the messaging you wanna what's the messaging you wanna push and make sure you're kind of implementing with the
for sure. Messages? The main thing is, and I love that question. The main thing that I want to push and inspire people that are like me, that are inspired by what I put out and push into their spirits, is that like we are limitless. You know what I mean? Because coming out of them ghettos, like fucking eating peanut butter sandwiches, ain't no jelly, or jelly sandwiches, ain't no peanut butter, or one bread with the peanut butter jelly on it, because there's only one piece of bread left. You feel me? Or eating croutons, treat them like chips, like salad croutons. I used to eat salad croutons like chips because that would be the only thing up in the fucking top of the cabinet up there. You know, we just all type of ghetto ass shit. And I was a generational cure, you know what I'm saying? I'm the first person in my family to travel the world and go to Africa, go to Paris, see the Eiffel Tower, you know, shit like that, you know, and really to just know that we're limitless, you know, just because we're limited in those times to certain proximity, certain experiences, does not mean we're not limitless. You know, and if I could say anything, it's that, you know, as long as you really truly are intentional and you really truly will put that work in whatever it is, I don't give a fuck if it's tech, basketball, being a nurse, LVN, being a cop, gangbanging, whatever it is you say you do and want to do, like put that work in and put that energy and be intentional about it. And you could do it great. I know some great gangbangers.
I love that. I love that.
I know some great gangbangers. They ain't getting caught. They ain't going to jail. They ain't indulging in every fucking murder and things that got to go on. They gonna make their money. It's a real thing, you know. And so, really though, above all things, I would just push that to my people that even though we limited, like I said, to them ghettos, we limitless. You know.
I love on Honda Seat. Right. To me, it's like it's an ode to just obviously being loyal. Right.
Facts.
And you know, talk about having somebody, you know, having somebody's back. But I'm curious though, how are you loyal to somebody without them being loyal to you first? Is that it? I know it's possible.
All day.
But for you to speak on that, because that's part of the hook, right?
Yeah.
And recite it for me real quick, because there was a reason why I asked that.
I got your back. Wait, no. We got to go get it. No time to sleep. Who gonna die next in these streets? I guess we'll see in time. But I got your back like Honda seats. I'm gonna ride when shit get deep. Let's hope that you'll have mine.
Let's hope that you'll have mine.
Exactly.
This is like, this isn't coming from experience of somebody that's already had your back. Let's just hope that you have mine. So it's like when I heard that, I'm like, damn, this nigga is loyal to a degree, even when that person hasn't even showed or displayed their loyalty.
It's questionable.
is questionable,
Exactly.
right? How do you get to that level with somebody?
And I love, man, come on, that's why you check Dizzle. I love that question, man, because it's like, again, when you have grown up in the ghettos or just even in life, you know, it's not always like a yin and a yang, a give or a take. Sometimes, for some people, like, loyalty is tested by you having that loyalty first. You know, for some people, like being in the streets, for instance, let's use that for an example. If a nigga is from a hood, you get put on the hood, right? So now you got a new put on, a little homie who a new put on though. But y'all go to a house party or something. I don't know how much you actually got my back. Cause we ain't been in no situation or scenario to really test that. But being that I've been from this, I bleed this, I bleed the set, I naturally got your back because you didn't came home.
Yeah.
I just gotta hope you got mine. It's the same in love. You know, it's the same when it's platonic. Like, if I just met somebody like my fiance, I ain't know my fiance all my life. You know what I'm saying? And so, me being a man and priding myself on being a leader, I gotta lead by example in all things, even loyalty. You know what I'm saying? And showing, okay, I got your back in all these different scenarios. But it's not guaranteed. Like Larsa Pimpin.
She getting 50 million.
Hey.
Oh, no, I don't know if it's 50 million. It's
I don't give a fuck what it is. It's something scary.
Half of Scotty's. You didn't dribble one goddamn ball.
Hey.
Crazy. That's some whole other shit.
And so it's like, really in all aspects of life, it's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's never guaranteed. I didn't watch family snitch on family. Fuck just the gangs and shit. I didn't watch family tell or just betray each other, brothers and shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't watch women and men betray their husbands, wives, girlfriends that held them down through everything, you know? And so loyalty is always a risk, honestly. That's how I really feel. You know, being loyal to a person is always a risk because you just never really know. Because honestly, too, everybody's loyalty level ain't the same.
Not at all.
So you might be loyal up to this point until it get to where it's like, damn, I need $1 million. You got $1 million, and I need $1 million. Yeah. Or I need 800,000.
Yeah.
And it's warranted. I got the whole place set up and all that. But now it's like, oof, I don't know.
Right.
Versus I'm ready to hand you that 800,000 because I'm just that loyal to you, loyal to your beliefs, all that, et cetera, et cetera. So to answer the question though, for me, like I said, I'm big on leading by example. I'm big on being the energy that I want to see and receive. So for me, I'm loyal until you show me I shouldn't be at all times. You know what I mean? So I love clean slates.
Yeah.
Everybody I deal with, interact with, engage with, your slate clean. You ain't got no credit with me.
Yeah.
But you got good credit. That's the difference between me and the bank and everybody else. Like your no credit is good. It's great credit with me. You feel me? You know?
I wish that's how the world works.
Exactly. You know.
So how many mistakes do you give somebody to fuck up?
Well, it could be one depending on the fuck up.
I literally said the same shit. I'm the type of person. I'm the nice one, right? Yeah. So I give people a 3 strikes rule.
Right.
Depending on the fuck up.
Exactly.
If it's a big fuck up, it's only one. Like family, you know what I'm saying? Like I had some family do some crazy shit.
Facts.
And it was one fuck up. And
I was just gonna say that.
Ain't talk to the person.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah.
And then there's other times where it's like, nah, man, I'm gonna give this person a chance because I know, what they've been through, what's going on, and multiple chances and whatnot. So I'm just curious to hear that. When I heard that line, I'm just like, dude, it's sometimes that you can be loyal to a fault.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? But I love the fact you said you're willing to take that risk.
Man, with all loyalty, there's a lesson.
Yeah.
Whether it's to a fault or whether it's to a win, there's a lesson to be learned in all your loyal experiences, I believe. You know what I'm saying? And I'm, as much as I, like, this is why my mom, everybody, I talk so much shit to my family that are still, like, heavy in religion. Yeah. Is because as much as I don't want to be from a religious gang. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to be a Christian. I don't want to be a Muslim. I don't want to be. I don't want to be from no hood in religion or spirituality. I just want to be connected to the Most High.
Says the person that got put on in the grass.
Yeah, unfortunately, right? You know I don't want no more put-ons. I don't want no more games. I don't want to choose no more sides, right?
No, I got you.
But for real though, that's a great point though. But on the real, but within that, man, you'd be surprised how much I pride myself on spirituality. Like everything I do is spiritual, which is why I know I don't need to be religious.
Right.
Right. And so, saying that to say, I like in the Bible, and don't quote me, but it says something along the lines of like, God don't keep track of your wrongs. You know, and I'm kind of similar. Like you don't even get a 3-strike rule with me, right? You might get 7 strikes.
Right. Just depends on what it is.
It just depends on the strikes.
Yeah.
It's like going to jail.
Yeah.
You go to jail 10 times, but you do that one thing, now you got a strike.
Yeah.
You actually could do one thing like fucking Taxstone. That one thing get your ass 35 years.
Crazy.
Right? And so, but your ass could also go to jail 20 times, and within those 20 times, you only did 2 years when you add all that up. You know what I mean? So I live my life like that, and I really just like operating in the grace that I want to receive.
Yeah.
Cause I ain't perfect at all. You know, that's why we got the song "Flaws" on the album, man. I'm full of flaws that I'm constantly doing my best to attack, kill off, fuck a chokehold. I want them gone. Yeah. Right? But sometimes I fall short.
What do you feel like one of your flaws is that you successfully killed off at this point?
One of my flaws that I killed off at this point is knowing when to speak. So one of my flaws used to be I talked too much. And like I used to be in rooms and settings, like even when I was a kid, you know, my Auntie Sylvia used to call me Talking Larry. You know, I guess I used to talk all the time, right in my fucking mouth. But as I grew and just progressed in my life, I started realizing like, damn, I water a lot. You know, every time I'm in rooms and in spaces, I be watering people. I water motherfuckers because I'm just outpour. If bro behind the camera telling me, or even just start saying something about, yeah, man, I've been working on doing this or this, or if I hear him say try, like I'm gonna tell him why not to say try. Right. You know, I'm gonna just naturally just start pouring in because that's just the kind of spirit I got. Yeah. You know, but I realized like every room doesn't need or deserve that energy. Every person don't need and deserve all of that energy out of me. Because with that, I realized with me, you know, for me, it be coming with like me expecting that same type of, you know, reciprocation, and not saying that you got to talk and pour into me, but just have that energy that wants to see me grow. Like when I say water, we watering. Yeah. I look at us all as flower pots. Yeah, I get you. Right? So I'm watering to see you grow. Yeah. Everybody don't want to see Chuck Dizzle grow.
That's true.
Everybody don't want to see Price grow.
Right.
So I've had to learn, like, sometimes you got to be in the room, just be quiet. Listen. Shut my fucking mouth. I was in record plan one time, record time of about 2 hours and about 40 minutes. I ain't say a fucking word. Unless niggas was asking me a question.
Right. Could you feel yourself like
I wouldn't go like but internally. Internally I'm like, because one thing I'm big on too is when somebody's saying something wrong, you gotta let it be known. I want to kind of challenge it. Yeah. Everything don't need to be challenged. Some people need to like live with that wrong. Like they gonna learn. I'm not always the person that needs to teach them. Yeah. Et cetera, et cetera. You know, so that's one of the things I definitely know.
You've killed off.
I've killed off.
That's good. Good. Is there one that you're still working on right now? Huh?
Anger.
Yeah.
That's my biggest one.
Is it based off a situation? Like, is it situational? Or is it just blanket? Just, man, I just got anger issues.
Yeah. Well, it like definitely not situational. Okay. No, because at this point,
like if you're in traffic and somebody cuts you off, anger. Okay, got you. So it's blanket.
But see nowadays, so I done therapy for it. multiple different therapists, anger management points, and not like court.
I was about to say, it was a court order?
Nah,
okay.
No court orders and no shit like
you
that.
You get an extra point.
Yeah. No. I'm going for my damn self because I'm like,
fire.
yo, this ain't it.
Yeah.
You know, my last therapist, she actually taught me something incredible, which changed. So anger I have in a headlock. I ain't got it in a chokehold yet,
okay.
and I ain't killed it off.
Hey, that's progression though.
But it's in a headlock.
Okay.
For sure, right?
So.
And my therapist told me something incredible about anger. She told me, she said, anger is not bad. Anger is actually a great thing because everyone has anger. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets angry. So stop like demonizing yourself thinking you're the only one that has this anger issue. No. Actually, everyone has anger issues. Mm-hmm. It's about the behavior
how you react
that you follow the anger up with, right? Because anger is really used to show you what you like and don't like, what you want and don't want.
You need that, right. Just like pain. You need pain to figure out what you,
I gotta know, son.
Yeah.
I don't like when I catch your ass up on this phone and I told you to not be on. So, okay, cool. Now I have to take your phone or do certain things, et cetera, et cetera. Delete your TikTok, right. Little shit, whatever. It's about the behavior. And like my grandpa told you about, who sat with the Bible and all that and smoked his cigarettes and drank his beer while he's studying. He's the same grandpa that kicked my mom out on the freeway when she was 7 years old. Because he and my grandmother at the time had a big fight, and he took my mom with him. She coming with me. Get in the car, they driving the freeway. My mom crying hysterically. He cussing her out like, what the fuck you crying for? How much my mom? She like, who you love more, me or your mom? My mom,
right. You
pulled over and kicked her out on the freeway. Didn't even drop her back off. Kicked her out on the freeway. You feel me? Anger is one of our generational curses, and people don't realize. I was just talking to my mom about this last week. A lot of things are genetic, and not saying that it's scientifically in your DNA. It's genetic because it's passed down through lessons. It's taught, which makes it become genetic. You know what I'm saying? Anger was taught in my household. Watching my mom had to experience it from my grandpa. And from that, my mom put it on us. My mom is amazing now though. Like she got anger in the chokehold. That's she didn't kill it off damn near. But it was taught, and so for me, that's something that like back in the day. Me and my mom talk about this all the time. Like, I used to like being angry. It used to feel good. Like, I'm finna go the fuck up. Fuck this. I'm finna set this bitch off. Like, and I used to feel like all that shit that it'd be an outpour because it's all gone now. Yeah. But the problem is, I got it hard. So now I'm fucking having to come apologize to niggas and do all this shit, right? Which that felt worse than the blow up and the anger. Is having to come and be all at niggas' feet.
Hey, my bad. Man.
Yeah. And then sometimes you don't get the energy you want back.
Yeah.
You get shitted on, door shut in your face. Yeah, I'm good, right? And you gotta live with that. And so I got tired of that too, because I'm actually smarter than I was giving myself the credit. And that anger gives me, and I'm smarter than the credit that anger gives me.
Got you.
Right? And so a lot of times I start realizing people were using my anger against me. The moment that they're losing a debate or wrong in a situation they would just do something to make me mad.
Set you off.
So then now I lose all my leverage. I no longer have leverage. You were actually the one that's wrong, stole from me, did whatever the fuck. But now that you said X, Y, and Z, and I'm going the fuck up,
now
I'm the devil.
Yeah.
And now you need to be rescued and saved, right? And so I'm like, yo, I'm over that.
Yeah.
You feel me?
That's good that you're working on it, and that again, you see the progression from where you were to where you are 100%. And where you want to be. A few more things I definitely want to talk about, man.
Please.
What's the, and I'm sure you get this question all the, well, I want to preface it by this. What was the experience with, you're doing this solo now, right?
Yeah.
With Octane, has he been in the studio with you, like listening to the music? And what's the process as you guys solo now, like as far as all this?
So first off, like Octane is really in
and
real
I see
life,
him doing
my
his
brother.
thing too.
Yeah, he's
I
definitely doing his thing. Shout out to Juju Nevermind. He did a little name switch, but that's my brother forever. Literally, he's been one of my best friends since I was 13. Well, we met when I was 12. You know what I mean? 12, 13 years old. I've been knowing bro since we was like 15, 16. We've been damn near best friends, inseparable. I played a game with the nigga like every week. Well, you know what I mean? We on Call of Duty shit once a week or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's my dog, you know, but with the music shit, man, we've been doing it and we're doing it so long together. You feel me? To where it because it's far from like just over. Like eventually we'll do another album later in life when it makes sense, and it's like such a demand for it, and both of us have taken our careers to higher places to where people want it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we can make some real noise. But for a while, man, we just got two different stories to tell. That's probably the biggest thing of all things. You know what I'm saying? And, other than the fact we've like made a lot of history together, you know what I'm saying? From young ages, we done did songs with Lil Wayne. We done opened up for the whoever's in our city, from the Drakes to whoever the fuck you could think of. Like, we've been on tour with fucking some of the biggest artists ever. Like, we done some great shit. You know what I mean? Sold out shows in Africa. We've done some dope ass shit. But we both have two totally different stories to tell. Yeah. I'm talking about like complete opposite stories, right? And when you are in a group, I've said this before, but you have to fuse like answers to questions. Facts. You know, you gotta fuse fucking everything. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it kind of like ran its course, and it's crazy because it's funny because like people are seeing like a lot of the success that I've been having in my solo experience, but bro went solo first. So we clear. Bro went solo first. You know what I'm saying? He had a whole damn album done. While I was like working on the Audio Push album at the time, you know, and I go to the hubby studio and
you're like, wait, hold on,
bro got a whole album done.
Pull that shit up. Wait, what?
Exactly, right? But
did you have those moments of like, okay, man, look, like you said, things are kind of running this course. Hey, let's experiment with the idea of doing some shit, or was it more or less like, all right, this is where we could just kind of see ourselves right now, and let's just kind of rock. Like, what was the conversation?
So listen, so it's crazy because, bro, so many people, I'm sure he even got it too in his own private conversations or whatever, but so many people at a point in time, more towards like the fourth quarter of our journey, was like just stressing how they feel like I should do some solo shit. And I used to be just swerving it from Mars to Hit Boy to Manny Smith, A&Rs, all type of people. I used to just be like, we on this shit right now. We on this. You feel me? It literally wasn't until bro had a whole album done. And I'm over here going crazy
you
on
this
this
shit. Session, like, wait, what? He got 8, 9, he got a whole album?
Yeah. And then for me, one thing about me, and especially with me and bro, and the reason why we've always been able to sustain the group and our career as long as we were, when all the groups we were going up against that were our competition at times, whether it was brothers, whether they was best friend, whatever, they was breaking up left to right, fucking having public fights and all that, and we ain't never did none of that shit. It's because me and bro have always been able to have uncomfortable conversations. I'm all about that. I'm gonna call him.
I love that.
We gonna get in the room. You like, hey, that's my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm not rocking with how you moving, or you ain't rocking with how I'm moving, we finna chop it up.
So now I gotta know, when was it?
So for me, the conversation I had to have with him was like, because the only thing I didn't really like was that other people were coming to me, telling me about it. Right. It's almost like it is like being in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
letting me know.
Bro, I'm gonna be your biggest supporter like we are now. Yeah. We both are like two of our biggest supporters. You know, I had a sold out show at the Peppermint Club earlier this year, and I brought him out to do Shine and shit. That's my dog, you know, but like, let's not leave each other in the dark, because I gotta fake like I know about this album you got. When everybody keep coming up to me like, hey bro, you heard bro album, you know, and I'm so for me, bro, I would much rather actually know and us be on that same page, so that I can confidently and purely be in support of you when people are coming up to me and shit, right? So once we did have that conversation, I probably hung that phone up and went the fuck into mode.
Went ham on
Went into mode because that was like, okay, God, you speaking. It's time. Yeah. you know, and and from there it's just been the deeper I've diving into being able to like project and just convey my story and tell so many different parts and pieces, bro. I got layers. That's why I don't get how niggas be running out of songs, raps, albums, none of that. It be just sounding the same, doing the same shit. Y'all ain't lived.
Yeah. Is there anything that's off limits?
And that what I talk about? Only thing I would say is off limits is me like exposing other people's business. I got
which is fair.
Yeah, I got family that rape motherfuckers and rape, you know what I mean? And shit like that, which like not necessarily like, well, I don't even know. Shit, actually, I think about it, I might have raped fucking people out. I'm like, cause we had a lot of like family shit.
Yeah.
You know, like cousins being raped by this elder or shit like that. Yeah. In the generational curses. So I may say it, I may talk about it, but not say their direct names.
Got you.
I might just fabricate anything.
The message itself is still not off limits.
At all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Because y'all did it.
Yeah.
And if I did something, I'm going to speak on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to speak on it.
I was curious of the status because what I love about the hiatus or, you know, you guys not working together is that you don't see you guys smutting each other's names.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? And you guys are very much involved with you know, promoting projects and just being there for each other, like popping out a show. So I love seeing that. But I was just wondering if it was like and you just answered it, a decision that you guys both kind of came to the conclusion of like, okay, I'm going to go my way, you're going to go your way. If the stars align, we do it again, cool. If not, my thing I want to stress to the fans real quick. I'm going to look at the camera and say this. Don't beg these niggas for another album and not support it.
Exactly.
I hate that shit.
Exactly.
It's like, hey man, so when y'all, all right, this happens, y'all better go the fuck up when it happens.
Exactly.
So
and that's why for me, there won't, and to me, I don't see there being another Audio Push album until it's so cracking for either one of us. One of us got it so cracking to where it's fail proof.
Yeah.
Like the moment it dropped, niggas gotta go up. The numbers is too crazy. It's fail proof. You know what I mean? Because we've done classics, you know, that are deemed classic, you know, projects and shit. And then we've dropped shit that to us are personal classics. And that was just like swept under the rug because of just the mass amount of music that's put in the world every fucking week. So to your point, and like I'm over that. Yeah. If anything, I'm gonna do that telling my story and him telling his. And and kind of giving it. People got to be clear too, man. We all are humans at the end of the day. The listener and the fan is nothing but a human. Yeah. And motherfuckers don't want to keep seeing like the same thing over and over and then it being projected as if it isn't working. Right. So what is dope about being a group is shit, we got another live. Like we get a second win because we could then now separate from that and go tell our own stories, and if you do that right, you always could come back. Yeah, for sure. That's the easy part. Sure.
As long as you don't blow up and do some
niggas do some wild shit.
Nah.
And me and bro ain't never gonna have no corny shit. Yeah. You know, even if we ain't even agreeing with each other, fucking with each other, we ain't finna get on the internet and like smut each other. We just ain't cut like that.
No, I love that. I do want to talk about fatherhood, and I want to talk about, you know, you being just an awesome dad, man. You gave me some dad advice years ago, and you were talking about how you're the dad of the year. Like I stand on that. You know what I'm saying? Deadbeat K. You know what I'm saying? Fuck a deadbeat.
Deadbeat killers.
Yeah. So now where do you see yourself in terms of fatherhood? You know, a couple of years later, and what other experiences can you share as a father? You know, because now you teenager, right?
Exactly. My son is 12.
Oh, he's gonna be a teenager. Like, so you getting into that mode. Like,
facts.
I'm being selfish. What do I have to look forward to? Like what? Give me the heads up as far as this stage.
Yeah.
Of fatherhood.
So I got my 12-year-old and I have a 5-year-old.
So that's 5. I got a 5-year-old too. That's my first one.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm cool with that.
Exactly.
What am I gonna look for when it comes to
so the 12, man? My 12-year-old, they're probably my biggest inspiration for wanting to kill off anger. They're my biggest inspiration for wanting to dead all of my negative flaws, bro. Because the ultimate thing that I've seen and just being able to experience through parenting and fatherhood is the genetic traits that can be taught, and how my sons can end up having an anger issue as well if I don't get a hold of this shit. You know, and or worse than that, I can make them weak as young men because I got boys. Yeah. So my anger being displayed and them fearing me, I want y'all to respect me 1,000,000%, but I don't want my sons to fear me, and my sons fear me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, the fact that you can admit that is dope.
100%. Yeah. And because it ain't too late. You know, I instill that bond in that relationship in them every day. I just had them for 4 or 5 days because they're out of school, but my oldest, he got basketball practice, he's a hoop star. Gotcha. You feel me? So I let him, not let him, but took him back to his mom's because she's closer to his practice and shit. But I just had him, we went to the park, hooped 2 days in a row against adults, teenagers, high school, college kids, all that shit. Me and my son was running niggas. The yesterday when we hooped, we went 3 straight. And it was just dope. And just really, because everything that's in them, they got from me. They bite their nails. I be telling them, don't bite your nails and shit. I be biting my damn nails. Yeah. You feel me? So it's so many different little things. It's just like, if I am in control of these dudes' success, you feel me? Up until obviously they get old enough to go and make their own decisions. But from this point up until forever, really, because I don't believe in like you stop being a parent and a father or whatever when they're 18 and all that shit. Right. No. Y'all, they gonna be able to call this phone or pull up on Pops like forever,
as it should be,
and get that game, get their sword sharpened. You know what I mean, and vice versa. So I still pride myself on being dad in a year, and that's not in a challenge to other dads versus like to internally. I'm dad of the year every year internally. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm better than my father was to me. Yeah. Better than my grandpa was to my mom, and you know, et cetera, et cetera. And it just keeps me inspired, man, to just be as great as I can for my sons, man. My sons are every piece of why I do this. They get credit on every song I write. I don't have no co-writers unless somebody's singing on the hook or wrote the hook. Other than that, I don't do no co-writers on no verses. Ain't nobody helping with no nothing. I pride myself on my raps being my raps and my story being my story. But the only co-writers you are going to see on every single song is my sons. That's dope. They get a percentage every song, every album, masters on every song, every album. That's already a small way of building financial freedom for us and building legacy, you know, and just all that. Teaching my sons business. Just teaching.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, man, and it's fun. So what you could look forward to at this age, though, is individuality. Because as much as he's just like me, he got his own way. Yeah. You know what I mean? He got it like, man, I'm a diehard Laker fan, right? I didn't like press the issue on him from birth up until now that we Laker fans, like I do his 5-year-old brother. Yeah. So I look up, this little nigga think he a fan of. First he was rocking with John Morant, which now he don't. Like if I call him right now, he be like, nah, dad, John Morant's not dope. Like he's
because
all the lame shit.
Okay, got you.
You know, and I don't mind speaking about it because you lame. You do lame shit. Yeah. And kids like my son look up to you and you do lame shit.
I love how he picked up on that though.
Yeah, my son is a leader, you know, above everything. But he's also just an individual. He like what he like. He's heavily musically inclined.
So wait, now who does he like now? What team does he rock with?
Oh, he's a Laker fan now, finally. We finally got him home.
Got him back.
Yeah, because it's funny, it was up until this year, though, because I'm like, one thing about me is I'm big on just like logic. Yeah. My sons are smart, so I'm like, all right, son, check it out. You don't have a team right now, which is fine. But I'll tell you shit like, son, the worst type of fan to me is a nigga that don't got a team, son. Don't not have no team, right? Don't be talking about you like LeBron and wherever LeBron go, you go. Yeah. We ain't doing that, son. Right.
So figure it out. Like I'm gonna just put that little information on you. Figure it out.
Now you be a fan of who you want to be, but then find the reasons why you want to be a fan. Don't just be fans of people because they winning. Because it's going to be points where they lose, and you got to still be loyal and rock out, et cetera, et cetera. So he was watching all the different teams during this last year, and he's seen, I think what really sold my son is seeing how the Lakers just persevered through all of the bullshit.
Right.
You feel me? And he was just naturally
As far
like
as
that.
it did.
I'm a Laker fan now.
I see what you've been saying.
That shit was one of the tightest moments to me, and it's so stupid. I have no equity in the Lakers. I don't get shit from this shit,
though.
right?
I love that though.
My 5-year-old, he's a Laker fan.
There we go.
He ain't even doing no back and
pressure
forth.
on him.
But the main thing is individuality, because you're gonna get to see them. Because there's gonna be times like if my son was just like, Dad, I'm a Warrior fan. I'd be like, but in the room I would have been sick.
Yeah.
But
Let him
I
do
would have
his thing.
supported him
Yeah.
because he got his own mind. He got his own thoughts. You know, he didn't call himself checking me before, you know, because me and his mom have had engagements that he wasn't the biggest fan of.
Right.
You know, it ain't me cussing around, calling her all out her name crazy versus me just getting at her and him not really feeling
Not
it.
fucking with that. Yeah.
You
yeah.
feel me? And as a
Still
young
talking to my
little
mom.
dude, and as a young little dude, you know, he didn't call himself checking me and shit, or just having that uncomfortable conversation. And I'm like, you know, let's have that, because you my son. So I get why you're holding it down like that.
Talking to me.
You feel me? So I can respect it. And so yeah, I would say that, man. You get to see them bitches become their own.
All right, so on Gentrify, you say lost all them deals, but I really lost me. Kind of dive into that, man. When you say you really lost me, what type of things were you talking about?
Yeah, so on Gentrify, when I set that line, so I'd have been signed to Interscope 2 different times. Signed to Motown. Those is 3 major deals. I've done partnerships with Empire, which at that point, that's independent, but it's major independent at this point. You know what I mean? Just done multiple deals where in the era we grew up in this music shit, when you get signed and you do a hit and you put out some great shit, like your life changed for real.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
you out of here.
Yeah.
And that ain't happened every time. And even when it did like go up, it ain't go out.
Yeah.
It ain't go through the roof. You might have progressed up, you know, but so it was just moments where it was like, damn. Not so much the Motown deal, because Motown I was intentional about. Like I knew that was finna be a one and gun, get it out of there. I just wanted to make some noise going solo so that it stamped the move that I was making. You know what I mean? But I definitely felt like at a point after the Interscope deals, after the Empire deals, shit like that, like where I just started to get a little doubt. Yeah. You know what I mean? Started doubting myself a bit, doubting the journey, doubting my place in this shit. You know, it's so much, there's so much like fabricated energy. Like you said, you walked in front of them and you see me having a head-on debate with like fucking racist Trump supporters. Right. I really bleed this shit. I really bleed
that's
music.
Price.
Yeah, like I really bleed everything that I talk about, everything that I stand for, everything that hip-hop should stand for, as far as just whether it's writing records, producing records, lyricism, mixing, mastering, engineering, being fair with the splits with your team, putting your niggas on. Like, it's so much of that shit I really stand for, and just seeing at a point in time in the game, and even now times, but now I'm more just okay with it, you know what I mean, and embrace it all. But at a point it was like, damn, maybe this shit ain't for me. Damn. You know what I mean? Because this shit is like, it's very jaded, it's very fabricated, it's very like the niggas that's going to the moon on these charts and going to the moon with these sales, niggas don't even drink lean. Niggas talking about lean. You know what I mean? Niggas talking about this street shit and all this shit. These niggas ain't never even shot a gun. Not that you should, but you getting rich off of a lifestyle that like my homies and I didn't have to be in, and my homies just doing life behind this shit, you know, and we got ridiculed. Yeah. Like, nigga, we had the skinny jeans on. We grew up off the dance song and shit. Yeah. And y'all don't know, I'm bringing clothes back to my hood. Like, I'm getting clothes from boxes of clothes from Interscope, boxes of Jordans and shit. And I'm bringing them to 2nd Street, like putting them in the middle of the Rennies and letting the kids just run through them and shit. You know what I mean? We having shows and having niggas shootouts with niggas and shit. Niggas shooting at my homies. I'm having to drive my homies to the hospital and shit after getting shot in the stomach, getting shot in the leg, because we wearing skinny jeans and shit. Like, we really in the hood. You feel me? Y'all niggas wasn't in the hood. Right. But y'all talking shit. We got the world and the internet talking shit about us. Like, a nigga will beat y'all ass in real life, right? But I don't even give a fuck to even go there. You know, it just was making me at a point realize, like, man, this shit ain't it for me. But that's where the overcoming spirit
how did you bounce back from that? Because those, I mean, especially when you're in situations like that for the world to see, right? Going through deals and it not going the way you expected or wanted to go.
Yeah.
And you said, going through those doubts, what do you tap in within yourself to kind of bounce back from those moments?
Really, well, one of the things, well, I'll say this first. One thing about me is like I'm not big on pity parties because it be only one person in the building. A party is supposed to be a party, which is a function, a gang of motherfuckers in there. A pity party, it just be you. That ain't a fun party for me. So one, I don't do the pity parties. Like I don't like making excuses, crying and sitting sad all day by yourself. That shit don't change nothing. So that's one of the biggest things. Like I literally don't even, like my health gets fucked up. Like I get to getting vitamin D deficiency and all that when my shit ain't like, when I'm not walking in my light. So it was one that, two, really truly knowing that I am made for this all across the board, and really like, okay, am I gonna believe the truth or the lie? You know what I mean? The biggest battlefield and the biggest battle that we'll ever have is gonna be in our mind. Period. That's your biggest battle on the planet, is the battlefield of the mind. Shout out to Joyce Meyer. She wrote a book called Battlefield of the Mind. But that's your biggest battle. So I started realizing like, yo, my mind is feeding me lies right now though. You feel me? Because I'm a firm believer, like I said before, like I'm a firm believer that you don't lose the race unless you quit. You feel me? Like you don't lose in the life race unless you quit. You feel me? And so what really put the battery in my back though is going out and learning business outside of the music business. It wasn't until, bro, I really learned and started making money outside of music, running ads, doing 89K months on Shopify, selling products I ain't never even touched, drop shipping, learning about just online marketing, just different streams of revenue.
Right.
And business, when investors start coming in to invest in my restaurant and partner with me for this and that and this, and I start realizing like, damn, a person could give you $50,000, $100,000, $70,000, $10,000, $20,000, invest in your product, invest in your company, but they don't own the company. Like if a motherfucker come and give me $50,000 from a food truck to invest into the business, they don't own the truck. They don't own Brody Hunters. You get paid back your investment with interest, and then you get whatever we negotiate. But what we ain't negotiate is ownership and IP fucking equity. You know what I'm saying? And so once I started to really realize that, it let me realize, it made me realize like I could beat this game. This is a game I could beat. Because one, it's another form of slavery, but we beat slavery. Like granted, we still to certain levels and degrees in America slaves, but it's a different conversation. However, overall, we beat slavery. Right. You know what I mean? And the music industry is only doing what we're allowing. You know, the big three, Spotify, all these different companies, they're only doing what us as a whole are allowing them to do. And so I'm like, okay, I get to choose what I'm going to allow these motherfuckers to do to me. Yeah. You feel me? It's going to be a little hard. It's going to take work building this community of fans and building this community of followers and listeners and supporters. But I'm willing to do the job, period. Niggas, I got homies that, some of my homies just went down for one of the biggest drug busts in American history for fentanyl and some crazy shit. I ain't gonna say no names. Niggas that went down with so many M's, it ain't funny. But they had to put in a lot of work to get to that point. Right. I'd rather put in my work over here.
Yeah, right. Put that energy on this side.
You feel me? And so that really, that's where really my inspiration came from. Like, I got a voice. I got a lot of people right now already that respect my opinion, my experience, my outlook on the game. And so the sharper I make my sword, the sharper I can sharpen other people's swords.
No, I love that. And what one thing that I definitely get from that, and if people don't know by now, it is your willingness to work.
Period.
To work.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? And not rely on the things that you've done in the past.
Yeah.
It's like, no, hit the reset. Okay, what I got to do? Like, even like, when I got to pull up, what we doing? I'll pull up to multiple ones. What we doing? And it's like, you got to respect that. You know what I'm saying? You got to respect that type of mentality, that type of hustle. But I also know that not everybody possesses that mindset. So it's like, it's important that you speak on that and people hear it.
Yeah. Knowing
that you've been through some down times and had that doubt
100%.
and, you know, figured a way to kind of overcome that and persevere. So I love that you spoke on that. That's very important. Speaking of working, man, I got to know, and we'll close off on this in a second too.
We good, man.
How proud are you of Hit Boy at this moment?
Oh,
because
man.
I know you know more than a lot of people. I've been at the spot, you know what I'm saying? Wife was cooking. I remember.
Right, facts.
I remember all that shit, right?
Facts.
And even to the degree, that was
Chuck Dizzle was fucking spoiled, by the way.
Man, I love
this nigga's wife.
Man,
hands down, the coldest wrist, the coldest flick of the wrist, boy. Man. I'm talking about make eggs taste like fucking 5-star gourmet. I'm talking about.
Yo,
you
man.
Spoiled over there.
Bro, I used to
surprised you ain't big.
I know. That's what people tell me all the time. How come you ain't? Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But I used to watch, you know, when wifey would deliver the food, right?
Yes,
and
sir.
I would see, you know, the compound and you guys work and, you know, the work that y'all put in then, right? And right now, people seeing the resurgence, if you want to call that, of Hit Boy, and, you know, him being able to do what he did with Nas and, you know, with Big Hit now being home. How proud are you of him in these moments where people are kind of giving him his flowers?
100%.
Like
first off, extremely proud. More than I'm, well, no, not more than I'm proud. Just as much as I'm proud, I'm inspired, you know, and just so we clear for me at least, and a person that I really know, bro, and know his aspirations, his goals, what he got into this shit to do, this ain't the resurgence of Hit Boy. This is the real Hit Boy. Like, this is what Hit Boy actually came to do.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, all the other shit was just getting a nigga ready. It's almost like playing college ball or going overseas to play before you come and smack shit up in the league and get that ring or whatever, you know? This is really who Hit Boy, like, came in this game to be, which is the like one of the best rappers and one of the best producers. You feel me? And so to see bro actually get an opportunity to walk in his light, be received. Like, we used to be sleeping on his mom's floor. I got a song. We working on a project. Now I don't want to speak too much on, but I got a song where we talking about just all of our journey, you know, and Gourmet Food Fresh used to be fucking fuck, I forget the name of the little restaurant that was around the corner from his mom's crib. Damn, I'm drawing the blank. But we used to be just eating bullshit that we thought was it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, to see bro like being recognized by the world though, you know, by like the top of the greats and shit, it's so inspiring for a nigga like me. Yeah. You know, because that's why he rock with me so heavy. We be texting all the time. He texted me like 2 days ago or something when he seen my son all huge, but because we just know each other's spirits and like what we in it for. And like he told me one time at the studio recently, he was like I always knew you was gonna get it. You know, is what he was telling me. He's like, you always had that spirit of like, nigga, no matter what, you gonna go get it.
Figure it out, yeah.
You gonna go figure this shit out. Yeah. And right now, Hit Boy is being extremely like, not extremely in a negative way, but he's being like selfish, as he should be.
As he should, yeah.
Right? He's being selfish and putting a lot of the energy into himself, into his pops, into his son, you know, into his legacy. You feel me? He did a lot of like, conglomerate shit. He did a lot of collectives. He did, you know, he had the Surf Club, had HS87, still got Surf Club and HS87. It's always gonna be gang. It's always, you know, it's always the family. But he would put so much of his energy into all of that now he's putting it into himself. You know, the beats he really, really loved, he rapping on them. Yeah. You know, the ideas he got for visuals and motherfuckers that he want to put on records and shit, he putting them on them with him, you know, and it's paying off. As a homie, I'm fucking ecstatic for bro. Like, I'll be like emotional at times, like, cause I love this shit. You know, seeing bro pops, we used to have conversations. That's why me and him clicked so heavy, like early on this shit, cause we both had the same story when it came to our dads. Literally. And both our dads was banged out. His dad just a blood minded crib. Both our dads wanted to do music. Like, when my dad got out too, he was rapping and shit, you know what I'm saying, doing songs. He would walk to the Hollywood music school. Yeah. we had a crib in the valley. He'll catch the bus and then walk like a mile damn near to that school.
Wow.
You know, every day just to like learn more about music. My dad, 50-something years old. Like, Pops, man, leave that shit alone. But, you know, I can't tell him that.
Right.
You know, and so saying that to just say, man, I'm so excited for him. I'm happy for him. It's so early for him.
Yeah.
It's really extremely fucking early for Hit Boy. That's what's scary.
Yeah.
Like, niggas be looking like it's fourth quarter for him. Hell, nigga, it's the second quarter for bro.
Yeah,
if that.
For sure.
You feel me? And so I'm just super stoked. And like I said, I'm inspired because he from where I'm from. Like, granted, he was born in Pasadena and grew up there as a child and shit, but his real experiences and memories and where he became who he is in IE.
Yeah.
Period.
And I love how, as selfish, you know, not negatively.
I love selfish, by the way.
Not as selfish as he is, he's still putting on
for sure
other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, still providing opportunities. Even the homie Jansport J, like,
facts.
I love the energy. I love what he represents.
Yeah, his cousin JB.
Exactly.
The homie Spank Nitty, who I introduced him to the homie Spank Nitty. He from Hemet. He from like a dry ass town in the IE, like a town that nobody be paying no attention to. It's actually one of the poorest cities and towns in the country. Hemet, California. And that's where my homie Spank Nitty from. And Spank Nitty, one of the hardest rappers ever to me and to Hit Boy. Like, as soon as Hit Boy ever heard him, he was fucking gassed. I'm like, shit, nigga, I'll bring this nigga through.
Right.
Hit Boy ended up signing him. You feel me? So that's one of the few people right now that's actually signed to Hit Boy. It's the homie Spank Nitty. And so, man, as long as Hit Boy is repping the IE while he's doing all this great shit, he putting on for us and he's putting us all on. Yeah. Because he's making it like when we was coming up, nobody was repping IE at all. Nobody. Right. We went through hell not saying we was from LA. Yeah. You know, it would have been easy like the New Boys and plenty of other niggas that came out that's from Victorville. Them niggas is from they from like lame cities in IE. I ain't gonna say Victorville lame, but it ain't like, you feel me?
But perpetrating that you from somewhere
they
else.
Was saying they from LA just to make it easy. Yeah. You feel me? Like, we the reason why niggas like Travis Barker make it clear that he from the IE now, and plenty of people that's from the IE that wasn't repping the shit. You feel me? And Hit Boy having niggas like Nas, like what that IE weather, like shit like that. That shit wild. Is like, what we talking about? Yeah. You feel me? Because it's the IE. What Snoop said, the IE got something to say. You feel me?
Now, I love when I want to be clear, when I say resurgence, I love how the world is embracing him. Facts. The way that they should be, right? And how we fuck with him. Yeah, exactly. Right? You know what I'm saying? I love seeing him getting that get back. Facts. And it's amazing. Like you said, it's just second quarter. And I'm extremely proud of you, man. Like, your willingness, again, not to give up, to continue to go, despite the ups and downs, life situations, music shit, whatever the case may be. Facts. And you're still doing your thing, man. And again, Gospel in the Ghetto out right now. Facts. Anything else you want to tell the people? I know we covered a lot, but is there anything else that you want to make sure the people know?
Well, one thing, Gospel in the Ghetto, like you said, is out now. I'm super excited about it. That's just another piece on the Sagging and Bragging campaign. You know, we Sagging and Bragging, which is forward progression, forward movement, constant movement, intentional movement, sagging and bragging, you dig? And we went number 4 on iTunes, which is huge for me, huge coming out the IE, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about Killer Mike album, somebody gunner than my album, you know what I'm saying? That shit was fire, and we gonna go number 1 on the next, you feel me? We just gonna keep on growing, like, it's no greater feeling than taking that risk and getting the reward, you know, because I'm a big believer, too, in no risk, no reward. But a lot of times people take risks and don't get shit for it. Actually get a hit, get a wound, you know what I'm saying? But to see your ideas and your visions and the things that you work hard for pan out, it's no greater feeling. And so I'm in the first quarter.
I love it. The year can't end without Price doing what? We're going to end it off on that note. We manifesting some things. It could be music related, life related. The year can't end.
Oh, well, one of my goals this year is I'm going to end the year with 1 million monthly listeners. I'm almost at 300,000 now. Before I dropped this project, I had 40,000, something like that. Wow. I'm dropping another album. I'm probably gonna drop 2 more albums before the year up. Word. Yeah. Okay. I'm like, we sagging and bragging for real. I'm not letting up.
I'm not playing that at all.
And I got I'm talking about quality. That's what I'm big on too. Is quality mean quantity, you know. And the year can't end off without me killing off anger. You know what I'm saying? Period. That's one of my biggest goals. I'm gonna take my wife to we'll share my wife, but she is my wife. I'm speaking it, you feel me? And I'm gonna take her somewhere incredible to one of her dream spots this year, and just continuing to grow and continuing to love on people. Yeah.
Well, I love you, man. You keep doing your thing, man. We're gonna definitely keep on connecting and keep on elevating. I love to witness it as it happens. So
Facts.
as a man, as a father, as an artist, you know what I'm saying? You got my support now.
Facts. And same, bro, before I get out of here, I just gotta say, man, I'll never forget, I think our first homegrown interview was in this little spot.
Yep,
the spot y'all used to have,
Market Street.
The spot y'all used to have everybody pulling up, right?
Yep.
And it was like to see it go from there, obviously, to just multiple scales up to where we are right here, right now is fucking what we talk about. Man, you know what I'm saying? I feel the same way how I feel about Hit Boy about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many, whether it's DJs, whether it's personalities, whoever, that just they stop running in the race. Yeah. Yeah, you another one.
I like that you said that. Only way you stopping or
only way you quitting
is if you giving up.
The only way you quit, only way you lose is if you quit.
Exactly, if you quit.
It's the only way you lose if you quit, bro. This shit is so early for you. Like, we gonna eventually be doing this shit on like a Fallon level. Bro. That's where I see it, Kimmel level, where we get to perform. And it's like really like you can't even drop your album without going and seeing Homegrown and seeing Chuck Dizzle. You dig? So
I love it, bro, man.
I love you, man. I thank you for the opportunity, man, and what you do for the West, what you do for our people, what you do for your children, what you do for fathers, husbands, man. Like, us as a people, black men, it's imperative that we be the true leaders we put here to be. Yeah, you know, and you embody that. Thank you, brother.
I receive. I'm learning on. I'm working on receiving flowers. Usually I'm a deflect. I'm like, oh, nah, that's you. That's
take your flowers, bro.
I'll get them.
Shit.
Appreciate you.
While you can smell them.
Right.
Homegrown Radio.
Yes, indeed. Gospel in the Ghetto out right now. Chuck Dizzle live and direct. Keeping it homegrown, of course, man.
That part.